What's up, guys? You're about to watch or listen a great episode from the Jersey Comic Krew. We're going to talk about a lot of things. James Gunn is coming back into Marvel directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and we have rumors of what the Star Wars movies are going to be in the future. We also going to talk about Detective Pikachu might spin off in its own creative field movie universe. So stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jersey Comic Krew. We are the podcast who discuss your favorite comics, movies, and TV show. We have all your pop culture needs right here. As always, I am Rob Moran, and with me is the great
Chris Heller.
And we do want to warn you, though, some of our conversations may have spoilers, so pay attention to the description down below what we're going to discuss. How have you been, sir?
I'm good, man. How's your St. Patty's Day? That just passed, by the way.
That did. What did I do on St. Patty's Day?
Oh, is that good, huh?
No, I went out Friday, okay. Saturday, and Sunday. I was good. On St. Patty's Day, I actually did not go out.
Oh, you did the opposite. You did the Saturday.
I did the
Friday.
Saturday before.
I actually did the Sunday.
Did you?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
I went to a house party.
Oh,
very good. Very good food.
Probably should have done that instead.
Really good food. Great drinks. Had a cigar. It was awesome.
Saturday, I did a combination of St. Patty's / celebrating two people's birthdays.
Okay.
So I celebrated my friend Anthony's and Flora's.
Oh, nice.
He came down from Mass, and we went with her. We surprised her. We did an escape room in New York City.
Ooh, those are fun.
Which was fun. We won. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Winning's all that matters.
Then we went to the Sugar Factory in New York City. I've never been. They had these big goblet drinks.
Yep.
They were delicious.
Yeah, you drink that awful sugary stuff.
Yeah, and then I had a Pretty Patty from SpongeBob.
Pretty Patty.
Yeah, they had different color sliders.
Hey, all you people! Hey, all you people!
They were also delicious, and then had the best milkshake of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember the milkshakes?
They had a cheesecake on top. We took off the cheesecake to drink the milkshake and ate the cheesecake.
Do you remember the milkshakes we had going into Avengers Infinity War?
Oh, yeah, they were so good.
Remember me, you, and Ed got the milkshakes at Cold Stone, and then we went and saw it in 4DX. 4DX, definitely go see movies in 4DX. It's awesome.
Worth it.
Yeah, you get beat the shit. You get the shit beat out of you.
Get milkshakes too. It's really good for your stomach. You know, all that shaking and jiving. Oh my god. I had a fun afternoon. I tell you that.
Yeah, mine was not as sugary. A lot of Guinness.
Okay.
A lot of Guinness.
Oh, then we hit the bars afterward. We went to Hoboken and did all
nice.
that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was more house party, chill, Guinness, food, fun.
Yeah.
Games, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's good.
Wow, it's really good. Got Spider-Verse on Blu-ray. Everyone should get Spider-Verse. It's
great. Amazing. I got the last Steelbook actually at my store.
Ooh,
and nice. I bought it, and I was like, meh.
See, I got it off of Amazon. I got the 4K off of Amazon.
Nice.
And originally, it was like, it'll be here the day it comes out. And I was like, sweet, I'll have it. Then, like, the next day, it was like, delayed till March 26th. And I was like, ah!
Monsters.
Like, Jesus, why would you tell me this?
Oh, my god.
So, but I just got it in, so excited.
Well, speaking of Disney.
Yes.
The Disney-Fox merger has officially completed.
Sorry, I'm excited.
You can at least let me say it, then do the.
I've had a lot of coffee.
I know you got coffee. It's disgusting.
It's amazing.
Anyway, so yes, it's officially completed. So that means, guys, that Disney is gonna have to play with the Marvel toys, the Fox toys, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds will be reprising his role as Deadpool.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about that. I know many of us assume that, but you never know with these kind of things.
But it's not just that. It's The Simpsons.
Well, yes.
It's the X-Files. It's Alien. It's all these other Fox properties as well. Family Guy. Like
no Predators because Disney's a family company.
Yes, because Alien totally fits the.
Well, they're not Predators, Chris.
They're gonna put a bow on Alien's head.
Like, you pretty princess.
They're gonna make its second mouth a kissy face.
Can you imagine that?
That'd be awful. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Disney expands to, especially more the adult side of things. Like they're definitely keeping, they've already said they're gonna keep Deadpool rated R. Yeah. With the superhero stuff, they're gonna obviously recast a lot of it. But they said they're going to hit the ground running, so I'm excited.
And we know that they're going to save a lot of their R-rated and darker stuff. They're going to put on Hulu, right?
We'll see.
They also own a lot of that.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, they do. But you're correct. They do own the majority stock of Hulu now. Mm-hmm. So I know they have Runaways on there right now. But they could in the future obviously be like, hey, Disney Plus is going to be this. PG, PG-13, and then the R and more the darker stuff could be on Hulu. That's
exactly Sony, not Sony. Disney's gonna announce everything.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of announcing, Sony has a new announcement of their State of Play. So the State of Play is pretty much their version of live stream information. So that's where they're gonna drop new information on games, on trailers, things of that nature. And now Nintendo already has something like that. It's called Nintendo Direct, right?
It's Nintendo Direct, which they've taken over. Instead of doing the E3 live press conferences, Nintendo does a series of directs. The last one was the massive Pokemon Sword and Shield review.
Yes.
And Sony's next one, the first one, will be Monday. So when this comes out, it will be today.
Yeah.
So we'll probably definitely review whatever they announce. They're supposed to announce new video games for PS4 and PSVR, trailers for those games. So with Sony dropping out of E3 this year, it seems like their route is going to be this next like state of play thing.
Exactly. And so that brings me a question to you. This is essentially Sony cutting out that middleman of E3, paying all that money to get featured at E3.
Yep.
And I see more and more of this industry going to do that. We already have something with Xbox. I think it's Xbox Live announcement, something. I forget.
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct is more notably, right? So now I think the gaming companies are like, all right, we're going to have to cut out the middleman and just do this. And also in the video game world, something we need to like discuss real quick. You know, Google has announced their own like kind of like console-ish, non-console.
It's like a controller that connects to
any console, and then any PC, and you can play the game right through that. Like you download it through that. So like Google's trying to cut out the middleman that is
gaming consoles.
The gaming consoles, right?
Exactly.
So now everybody's like, oh, no middleman. We're going to cut you out.
Yep.
So the video game market industry is definitely getting a little bit more cutthroat than we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So I think that this is something that like, all right, if we're going to get undercut, we got to make sure we do this. And they need to focus on more creating their own AAA exclusive content. They
100%.
need to get into that realm.
Yeah.
Because if that Google thing takes off, you don't have to worry about AAA. AAA, like that goes to all systems. It's like whatever.
So what was your question?
I don't know. I got lost.
I'm like waiting for the punchline. I'm like, yeah. No, I agree. Wait, was there a question?
I don't know. I went down the rabbit hole, and my question's up there, and I'm already down here. I passed my own question.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think you're 100% correct. I think
I was going to ask a question. Really?
Yeah. You literally started off with I'm going to ask you like I have a question for you, and then you went down the rabbit hole.
Oh, do you think that they're cutting out the middleman? I think, but I answered my own question.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think, and I also think another thing about like, especially with Sony, I don't think like they are the least ones. Them and Nintendo really are the least ones that need to worry about AAA titles. You know what I mean? Especially exclusives. Like Nintendo's entire market's on their own exclusivity.
Yeah.
Sony is clearly the winner of exclusives right now with God of War, Spider-Man.
Death Stranding, I think, is exclusive.
Death Stranding's going to be exclusive. We still need to know more about that game.
Which I'm sure with State of Play they're going to tell us.
Exactly. They'll probably like my guess for Monday is which you could watch YouTube, Twitch, and I think somewhere else I forgot.
Mixer?
Maybe Mixer. Yeah, it might be. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch it through the PlayStation app. So they're probably going to talk about Death Stranding. They're probably going to discuss, hopefully, Last of Us 2 after that massive E3 reveal in the church, which was so cool to me. It was like you were in the game watching the trailer. I definitely think it'd be those two. Maybe a new game for later this year that we haven't heard about yet.
I can see that.
Like a teaser trailer. I can't see it being God of War.
It has to be
sequel.
Something big if they're putting out an E3, right?
It is, but they've kind of been pulling out of E3 the last 2 years, right? So, like, to me, the biggest E3 companies are Microsoft because they start the show every year with their Xbox Live event, which isn't just streamed; it's on like Spike TV, which is Paramount, whatever. And Ubisoft, Square Enix, right, and Bethesda. Like the specific companies, like go to E3. That's their like bread and butter for announcements. But Sony's kind of been like lowering. Nintendo's pulled out forever ago. So if I was E3, I'd be more along the lines of, listen, maybe instead of making this a convention now, we do like we pay you guys to have it live streamed on other places, and they get like the advertisement money.
They have to figure out how they're going to stay in business.
Yeah, and then they do like maybe the show floor with all like the Treehouse Live stuff like Nintendo. You do all the demos and stuff like that and the interviews. So they're definitely going to have to rebrand themselves because if Sony's pulling out, you got to expect Microsoft to kind of follow suit soon. But yeah, I do think the middleman is going to be gone fairly soon, especially with the way everything is going as far as trailers being released. I mean, we see it in the movie industry, right? Like
Yeah.
how like trailers debut online now. They don't like it's not like the old days where you sat at a TV and like, oh my god, there's a trailer for this movie on
Or
the
like
TV.
you have to go to the movies to see the trailer for that you wouldn't want to see.
Exactly. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but I'm excited for Monday to see what Sony announces because I'm a big PlayStation guy.
Exactly. Well, we were talking about rebranding. Talk about the man. Let's talk about the ultimate man who needs to be rebranded.
The man.
The CEO/chairman of WB, Kevin. Can't pronounce his last name. You got it?
Yeah, Kevin Tsujihara.
Tsujihara. Oh yeah, I know that name. Exits the company after a big scandal. So apparently, he was having this love affair with this actress.
Yep.
And he was putting her in movies. Last notably was Ocean's 8.
Yes. The actress she's like, fairly new.
Charlotte something.
Yeah, and he was throwing her in a bunch of stuff, basically like biased, giving her more work because she was pulling the Monica Lewinsky. So
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
That's awful. It's still Monica Lewinsky.
Or is it Harvey Weinstein? He was doing a Harvey Weinstein.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was forced. I think they were in a consensual relationship.
Okay,
but it was 100% bias. Awful scandal for WB. Especially since they're a company going through a lot of rebranding.
You just your DC stuff right. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lot bigger than just DC, but it's not a good look when your CEO is just like, I'm picking her every time because she pleases me sexually.
It was only 2 movies, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't.
And those movies weren't big.
I mean, yeah, I didn't see Ocean's 8. It looked awful and got really bad reviews.
I heard it was a fun romp.
Yeah, literally that's the code word for awful.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Fun romp, enjoyable film.
I'm sure, like, if I catch it on TV, I'll watch it. But
yeah,
it might be stream worthy.
I don't know.
I don't think I'd buy it.
I'm not gonna. There's so much to watch. Like, it's not something that's gonna be on my radar to be like, oh, I gotta see this.
Yeah, you're watching like 16 hours of basketball a day.
Oh yeah, dude, March Madness is going nuts right now.
You know what I'm doing 16 hours a day? Nothing.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, is he going down that rabbit hole?
What rabbit hole you think I was gonna say?
Another.
You pervert.
How do you know it's perverted? You don't know. You know. You don't know that.
They know.
They know. Yeah, no, literally, March Madness right now. It's killing me. It's killing me.
Is it taking over your life?
Partially, yes.
You know what takes over my life, or what took over my life, I should say, when I was a young lad? Pokemon. That's right. We're gonna talk about the theory. Yes, we need to get that. We will. We're gonna talk about the rumor. It's not confirmed yet, but it's pretty likely that after the success, which we hope there is, of Detective Pikachu, that this will spawn a creation of a live-action Pokemon universe.
Hell yes.
We do know a couple years ago, I think it's months, they announced that they were going to make a Pokemon Red and Blue movie in the same formatting that we have with Detective Pikachu. And also, Chris, me and you both watched it when we were doing the show.
Oh, yeah.
That 3 or 4 years ago when they redid Pokemon Red and Blue, they did the animated short, right?
That was awesome. The Chronicles or Origins or
something like that.
Yeah.
And they were like 15 minutes each. A total to be about an hour and a half.
Yep.
Fantastic. We were like, this is what the anime should have been.
This is what it should have been the whole time.
But that just shows that like they could tell that whole story in about that time.
Yeah, and if this is like, I'll take this 2 ways. Giggity. The first way is if they do the live action universe like the Chronicle stuff, more adult. Yeah. And they make it like, there's a big rumor that after Detective Pikachu, like, we kind of knew this, right? Like, they started with Detective Pikachu. A lot of people thought that, oh my god, why are you doing this? Why are we not doing the badges or like the Kanto region?
Well, we thought that.
Which we thought that too. But then if you kind of look between the lines, like, you could clearly see this is a business move of saying like, all right, let's see if this works. Mm-hmm. And then we could make sure the stuff everyone wants is good.
Exactly. It's a very low risk, high reward. Like,
exactly.
All right, if we suck at this, nobody's gonna care because it's not Ash, it's not Red,
exactly.
It's not the badges.
Like you could do like if it's like basically like a Pokemon Snap movie. You know what I mean? But like if you do Red and Blue and it's bad, you are getting like it is going to be awful.
It's going to affect their movie franchise, their video game franchise, the console. Exactly. It's going to affect everything.
So like in my opinion, the other way you do this is you could do Red and Blue, or you make this what, like, our generation grew up with this, right? Most of the Pokemon fans now are our age or, like, around our age.
Well, younger, too.
And, no, I'm saying younger, but, like, the ones who have grown up with
the older ones,
Exactly, since, like, 96. So the other way is this could be the live-action movies, if this is the adult version of Ash's journey from the show.
Oh, wow.
And this is how you, like, say, like, hey, yeah, we have the anime. It's very, like, childish. This is for that demographic to get them into it.
Okay.
But the older generation and the older fans could go to the live action movies, and you have like your Kanto region movie, your Johto region movie, or like half of it, whatever you want to do based on timing. This is the adult version and the badass version.
I view this more along the lines of the Harry Potter spectrum.
Okay.
And what I mean by that, because Harry Potter is very middle ground, right?
Yep.
It was a little bit more childish in the first one, and then it grew up, right? So I think
I love the first one.
Yeah, it was great. But I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to capture a whole new generation of audience. You know, the game stuff, everybody plays Pokemon, right? Even the young kids, but not as much. Now everybody's playing like Fortnite. They're playing Apex. They're playing all these other games. How can they get them back into this? Oh, they're all watching Marvel.
Yep.
They're all watching that universe. They're growing up with that.
Yep.
Why don't we do the same thing and grow up with the movies so they have all these movies and it hits like a middle demographic? Like, it still hits on us because we'll watch it, but it's not as dark and gritty. But it's going to be fun, lighthearted, and it's going to be a great story.
And also, it's going to be something we haven't seen.
Exactly, something
right?
we haven't seen.
Like live action Pokemon is something we haven't seen yet, and it's something we've wanted forever. And also, I agree with you 100%. Like, take the Marvel formula. This Pokemon universe, whether you like it or not, this is the perfect formulaic like brand to create a cinematic
There's
universe.
so many Pokemon, so many stories you could do.
Exactly. Like, do you remember back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, they did the like the Chronicles during the Johto, where it was like different characters had nothing to do with Ash, and they did like certain stories with them, and they had like basically episodes for a while. Like, that's universe building. That's world building. Movies, everything, all that stuff will be able to continue that. So as long as it can continue that trend, it will be able to do that.
I agree with you. And also with this allows for different expansions. So aside from doing the main stories, like you were saying, they can't get to the dark and gritty stuff. They could just do like a whole different side of it, and they could focus on like Team Rocket and all their evil doings and make that a darker movie, and people could get into it. They could go into a whole different world and region of the Pokemon universe, and we don't even see, and they could get the dark version and still have the light version happening at the same time.
Totally.
So moving on.
Yeah.
What else do we have to talk about, Chris?
I believe next up is another big movie item.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Thank you. Technical difficulties.
Hold on, just keep going. Keep talking.
So next, guys, we got to talk about Star Wars. You heard us. That's why you clicked this. There is a rumor that the showrunners from Game of Thrones, which is Benioff and
Weiss,
they are creating an Old Republic Star Wars trilogy.
Rumor.
Relax.
I want it to be true, but it's a rumor.
So what does that mean? So that means that the people that brought us Game of Thrones, dragons killing dragons, political drama, intrigue, factions against each other's
He's gonna betray you.
they're gonna do the same thing, but with lightsabers and force and more magic.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
It's literally such a perfect translation.
Yep.
Because the Old Republic is it's thousands of years before the Skywalker saga, but there was more Force users, there was more Sith, more Jedi. I mean, that kind of made like the prequels for me. The one of my favorite things is when we saw that big giant Jedi fight, right?
Yeah, no, that was definitely to me the birth of like, wow, like we want to see this.
Exactly.
Like one-on-one fights are great, but we want to see, 50 Jedi versus 50 Dark Force Sith users. And if Weiss and Benioff are doing an Old Republic saga, it's kind of perfect, right? Because you would think, hey, like you can make it kind of like a Game of Thrones style where it's very, there's a bunch of different sectors of Jedi. There's different types of Force users. It's not as black and white as Jedi and Sith in the New Republic.
Correct.
And in the Republic Age,
There's like neutral. There's this. There's that. There's
Exactly.
every spectrum.
Exactly. And now you have these different, this multitude, this almost like rainbow effect of Force users. And on top of that, you get to do something that's not a part of the Skywalker saga. So you're not overpopulating that, whether,
That 60-year timeline.
Yeah, like whether you want more or not. It's something that's completely different. It's world building in the Star Wars universe.
And this the Old Republic has lasted for itself, that era, for 1,000 years.
Exactly. So
it lasted forever.
And it's been talked about in the movies. The books currently are not canon. I'm sure this is something they would want to make canon. Certain characters are canon from it, but not the entire story. So since Disney bought it out.
Yeah.
So if they're making this canon and certain parts of the books are canon, like the Old Republic books that have been out forever, I'm all for it. I want to see Darth Raven 100%.
I think, and also when you think about it, think of the animals in Star Wars. and how they're going to be using this.
Yeah.
They're going to like actually ride them more.
Yeah.
They're going to use them for fights and stuff like that. Their whole bestiary is going to be phenomenal. Like we're going to see like probably somebody riding a Rancor going to the battle with somebody else and jumping on with a double-lighted lightsaber and spinning off and like slicing somebody's face off.
Like
we can see all kinds of crazy
I want to see
stuff.
that all the time, every day.
I know. I'm going to draw it for you. It's going to be stick figures.
I don't want to see that version.
It's going to be stick figures, and it might.
And
And I'm going to write, this is Rob, and this is you, and you get your face cut off.
So you're the Rancor?
That's fine. I would eat you. I would like, no, delicious. Young Jedi.
So I am all
Rancor
for
could
this.
talk.
No, that'd be awful.
Would it?
Yeah, it'd be awful.
Think it's scary?
What's this, Family Guy? Like a Family Guy enactment?
What if Rancor was a Jedi and they made a giant lightsaber for it?
There's no stopping it.
He's invincible. Can you imagine? He just like slices everything.
That would be awful.
You got to get the worm from the planet. You put a lightsaber in his
the
mouth.
worm eater?
Yeah, and just
the space worm who somehow is able to breathe in space.
why not? It may not need oxygen. Not everything needs oxygen, Chris.
True.
Come on, jeez.
True. But there's no water either, which is part of oxygen. Anyway. But yeah, no, I am all for the Old Republic. I think the fans 100% want an Old Republic something.
Yes.
Whether it's a canon book, a canon game, a canon TV show on Disney Plus, especially movie trilogy.
I think the movie trilogy would be the best way to do this. It pretty much takes the best of Game of Thrones and say, how can we elevate it? Oh, let's give them $100 million more each episode, each movie.
Yeah.
And create
and make
like
it
this
a space opera.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm all about
and
it.
we actually get to see a war.
What a lovely time we live in.
I know.
In pop culture. That's about it.
You know, speaking of lovely times, we got to talk about what Kevin Feige called this lovely time.
Yes.
So, Kevin Feige is called the first.
Of the segue.
I'm getting good, man.
It's getting better.
Kevin Feige has talked about these first three phases of the Marvel Universe. So, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. As a collective, the Infinity Saga. A great name.
Amazing.
But you know what this means? This means there are more phases to come. There are more sagas. That means we're gonna be doing this show until we're 97 years old, talking about phase 40 billion.
40 billion.
And they're like, we had like a scroll invasion for the 12th time. Like it's gonna be fantastic.
They ruined everything. Everyone's a scroll. They ruined everything from like 2000.
They're like, you thought we were this is
this
all
isn't even
scrolls.
the universe. This is the prequel to the universe.
This is not even. Wait till you see this.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
It's gonna be VR by then. We're gonna be in it.
Seriously. It probably will
We're going to be like the no-name faces of people who died. Like, I died in scene 4. Right there. That's my body. I died.
We'll all be, what's his name from Deadpool 2? Kevin? Or whatever his name is. The guy who's just a part of the X-Force for no reason, who has no powers. He's like,
I would love to be
we're
that.
all that guy who just
I don't even think we're
going
to get to be that guy.
No.
I think we're just going to be a nameless goon who dies.
Well, we'll see. I mean, but here's the thing. Like, this is one. I think it's a great announcement because it's great for marketing because you could box the whole thing in a Blu-ray and sell it for $300 and everyone's gonna buy it.
I'm gonna have to buy it,
of course,
because they're gonna not just the movies.
No, it's gonna be the bonus features, the presentation.
There's gonna be a toy. There's gonna be like a figure or a statue.
You know what I want it to be?
Infinity Gauntlet?
An Infinity Gauntlet where the fist comes up and all the discs are lined in the fist.
Oh my God! I was not ready for that. I'm buying it. I don't care if it's $1,000.
Oh, I'm getting it.
I'm sorry, honey.
Sorry, honey.
She's gonna be watching this like, I'm gonna get a call. You're gonna do what? I have to. I said it on live TV.
I said it on live. We're on the internet. I can't.
I'm on the YouTubes and the Podbeans and the Instagram. And make sure. You see that segue? Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Jersey Comic Krew, Cruise with a K. Links are down below. Click it, follow, like, and let us know.
We should make a, when Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Krillin gets own count. We should make a Rob segue count. Ding!
I like that. Mikey, make that happen.
So, yeah, I think the first three phases, Infinity Saga, also very comic booky, right?
Yes, it is.
You're talking about story arcs that involve, the giant overall arc. Basically, instead of reading the books, you're watching the books. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Real quick, just for my clarification and clarification for the people at home, Chris.
See.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
The movie after.
Yes.
Is that in the Infinity Saga?
No.
That is the first movie
in the Phase 4
in the new age of Marvel.
See.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
I thought so. I just want to.
Yeah, no. Endgame is the exclamation point, the period. That is the final point of the Infinity Saga and Phase 3. Okay. Spider-Man Far From Home is the first movie, a.k.a. the Iron Man 1 of the new movie set and Phase 4. Yeah.
That movie now has a lot more weight to it than I haven't realized.
Oh, I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to ride the coattails of Endgame, and it's going to be good. So I think it also has a big role to do because it's the beginning of, I guess, Phase 4. They haven't called it Phase 4.
No, it is Phase 4 though.
It is now.
Yeah, they have plans through like 2027.
No, I know they have
stuff.
plans, but they never like actually called it or said it was that.
No, not yet. Kind of yes and no, but like we haven't heard Kevin Feige just be like, it's Phase 4. You know what I mean? Like
we haven't heard Jesus talk.
Exactly. So, but again, and don't think at home too that because Endgame is the finality, like all this stuff won't matter going into Spider-Man. It's not true at all. Because in comics, even though a story ends, the next chapter starts with usually the fallout of what just happened, right? Like the new story has to deal with that fallout, and then
the characters have changed. They have grown because of this. Maybe they have new powers. Like this is like a shonen anime,
or like someone dies. Hint, hint, probably. And then we have to see.
I mean, half the people are dead. Who else is gonna die?
That's true. But yeah, so like Spider-Man will be a part of that. We know Black Panther is getting a sequel. We know Guardians is getting a sequel.
A third.
We know there's going to be an Eternals movie.
Yes.
And yeah, there's a rumor that there's a big time Nova movie coming out. Namor, all these characters.
Well, Namor's rumored to be into this.
Yeah.
But you were just talking about Guardians of the Galaxy #3.
Was I?
And that has to do with our big topic of the day, guys. That has to do with James Gunn is officially back to Marvel.
See.
I did this a little out of order. I just realized I did, but I am sorry. But he is back. He's going to direct Guardians of the Galaxy #3, but
we are Groot. We are Groot.
We are. He's still going to be with DC. He's going to finish Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is officially a reboot. It's going to be called The Suicide Squad. And he will start production on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 after he is finished with Suicide Squad.
Yep.
So that means Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to get pushed back to the beginning of production around 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a far way. So the prodigal son has returned.
Yes.
And now this leaves fans a buzzing because this is the first time, by the way, a director, a writer, anybody's worked on both sides of the coin at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very common in comic books writing, but not in the movie world.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially so, James signing on for Suicide Squad is even more interesting now because of the articles and pretty valid rumors, I would say, that
that's a good way to put it.
During the Disney period where he was let go, he wasn't technically let go. They basically, like what we've read of articles and what we've heard is that James talked to Marvel. They said, listen, you need to go away for a while. We're going to publicly fire you. We're not technically firing you, but you need to go away, and we'll bring you back after this dies down.
I mean, but I also think that that DC had to know this. The reason I say...
no, totally, yeah.
Yeah, the reason I say, like, DC knew of their whole plan to begin with, they're like, all right, we're going to scoop you up, and, like, you're going to work for us. Don't worry about them. I don't think he knew about that part.
I think he did.
You think DC knew about the whole thing?
No, I think they knew as much as they needed to know based on timing. Because in my opinion, so with him and Marvel, right, they're saying, hey, because of this, we're going to have to delay the movie. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to delay you coming back. You're going to go away. We're going to publicly say you were fired. This is going to blow over if you keep your mouth shut and kind of go hide in your house for a couple months. And then, he has a Marvel contract with them.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean he can't do other movies.
Correct.
Like he's doing that other movie that's coming out that's like almost like a indie Superman movie.
Yeah, where Superman got raised by the government as evil.
Exactly. So then you're allowed to do that. It doesn't. DC's a part of the other. You know what I mean? That everything else you could sign up for. So he's going into Suicide Squad saying like, hey, I want to direct this movie. I have an idea for it. Right? He has a pitch.
Yeah, he has.
This is what he wants to do.
And
DC
he looks great with teams.
And of course, DC's like, of course, we'll scoop up the guy that Marvel loves too. It's added to it. So
and it's like a stab right back at the Marvel. It's like, oh yeah, we got your guy.
And we could use it for Suicide Squad, which arguably he might do even better than Guardians considering the funniness and the quirkiness of a team building thing, and the misfits. So yeah, and then he comes back to Guardians and Marvel knew it was going to be delayed. So he had a gap to be like, I can make this movie in the span that I was going to make Guardians, but because Guardians is pushed back because of everything that happened.
Let's talk about Batista, the Batista angle of this.
Yeah, he clearly killed somebody, and they were like, all right, we'll get him back.
So it might be that he killed somebody.
Batista bombed somebody.
But for a while, Batista, as many of you know, was very vocal about James Gunn being fired. He didn't like it, and other cast members were not comfortable. They didn't want it, but they would do it because they were obligated. But Batista was gung ho about this. He's like, you know what? I'll go to DC. You know, I want to do this and this. And then all of a sudden, he shut up.
Yeah.
He stopped. Why did he stop? I think James Gunn had to pull him aside. Like, listen, I'm not supposed to tell you this.
I think so.
But I'm not in love with you. And then he just understood. He's like,
I like you as a friend.
he's like, all right, I get it. All right, I'll stop. I get the hint.
How do you friend zone Batista?
He's just like I did.
I don't think it's good. I think he's like, listen.
Yeah.
Punch
He's
your shoulder.
No, he probably said like, on the low, I'm coming back.
I've seen him in person. He's huge.
He's a big guy.
He's so nice though. Nice guy.
He's a gentle
great guy. If you ever meet Dave Batista, he's a great guy.
But Batista, I mean, there's also the argument like, oh, he had other things to worry about. He has another movie. He's going back into WWE. No,
I
James Gunn had to have told him.
I think so too. I think James Gunn set aside like, listen, dude, I love you too. Is like, I get it, but like, don't worry.
I got you,
Kind
bro.
of like, even without saying it, like, gave him a hint and was like, don't worry about it. Like, I got this.
That's a long time for another movie.
But that's how it is. I mean, I think the whole situation, like, and obviously I don't want to get too political at all.
Good.
I think the whole situation is a hindsight situation, which I think our society definitely suffers from a lot of hindsight issues. Where it's like, in hindsight, they did this. This is awful. And instead of at the time taking care of it, it's a hindsight thing where it's like kind of too little too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. I'm obviously not going to get too deep into that, but it's definitely a hindsight issue where it doesn't, like, yes, did he do something wrong that he shouldn't have said? Yes. Even though it was freedom of speech? Yes. Yeah. Should he have said it? No. But again, how many have, like, any of us, have you ever said something wrong and immediately been like, shit, like, maybe I went too far?
Nope, I'm perfect.
Like Rob just said right there, that's something he will regret in 3 seconds. So, like, again, like, if you know, everyone's gone through it in some level or not.
I regretted it.
I know. Rob's gonna go shame corner now.
Yeah.
But again, like, it happens
you're right.
to everyone.
You're absolutely
it's just bigger on a scale because he's famous.
It is.
People on the internet say awful shit every fucking day.
No.
Exactly. So, like,
You?
All you people.
I can't believe it.
Awful.
No, they say nice things to us.
Hopefully.
So far.
Okay.
The first one that says something bad, I'm going to go in the shame corner.
You're going to go to shame corner.
You're going to be like, I don't care. I'm like,
okay.
oh, he said I look too beautiful. I can't believe it. I need the self-esteem boost,
He really
guys.
does. He's so insecure. So, yeah, I'm glad he's back. I think it's something that is needed for him in this situation with Guardians. I think Guardians is his baby more so than any director has kind of like their hands in a character or a group of characters besides the Russo brothers.
So let me ask another question. I keep saying that. With Guardians of the Galaxy 3, do you think he's going to be able to continue his original idea, or do you think he has to change it because of Endgame and everything else? Or is that what was it?
No,
or was a part of it?
I don't think he has to change it because they announced months ago they're using a script.
Yes,
they're already
they
using
did.
a script, which I believe was finished. And two, he already knew prior to this, like, quote unquote scandal that Guardians Volume 3 was going to be after Endgame, post Endgame anyway.
Okay.
Right? So, like, we knew Guardians was going to be like around 2020-ish. It's probably more like 2021-ish now.
Yeah.
But I think he knew it was after Endgame regardless, so I don't think there's that much change up as far as script and storyline, unless, you know, there's still stuff they didn't tell him that happens in Endgame to keep it so hush-hush. I don't know if you noticed, like, the new TV spot, there's nothing new except, like, scenes from old movies.
Exactly.
Which I'm so happy about because I don't want to know. So, yeah, that's what I think.
So, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Jersey Comic Krew podcast. Thank you so much for watching and taking in. Let us know down in the comments below if you think James Gunn coming back is a good idea. If you're excited for that Pokemon animated, live-action universe and what Pokemon you want to see the most of. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Links are going to be down below. But it's Jersey Comic Krew, Krews with a K, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Everywhere.
Make sure, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Make sure you give us a like, comment, subscribe, smash that subscribe button, hit that little bell. If you're just listening to us, you can listen to us and continue listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and all of that. As always, I'm Rob.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
JerseyComicKrew.podbean.com.